Hey YouTube, MaxZ2021 here, coming at you with a bit of a different video today. This time I'm going to be looking at, or going over the Full Metal edition of Fullmetal Alchemist, specifically the first volume. Just mainly wanted to talk about like what exactly you get with this volume and whether or not it's worth picking up as opposed to the other releases that are already out in English. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to be doing with this video. I do want to touch on a few things. Despite the fact that it says Full Metal Edition, this was originally the... Wait, let me get to the credits page. This was originally the Kanzenban release, as it says in the credits for the volume. And for those that don't know what a Kanzenban is, it's essentially, from what I can gather, a deluxe edition volume, usually put out to commemorate a series or something like that. And the Kanzenban release for Fullmetal Alchemist came out in 2011. I think around the 10-year anniversary of the manga, since it started in 2001. But, yeah, we're just finally getting it this month as of May 8th. And going by what I could find on release dates, we're going to be, unless there's no delays or they push the releases forward we're going to be getting another one of these every 3 months, and there are a total of 18 Kanzenban volumes. So, if I did the math right, we're not going to be getting the last one until sometime in 2022. So, just keep that in mind if you're planning on picking this up. But, one thing that I did want to compare with this is, shit, how was I going to word it? Right. Another example of a Kanzenban would be the JoJonium volumes for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Same size, same hardback cover, same page quality, and color pages too. Now speaking of Kanzenban volumes, that's just like a special release type of thing, like I said. The standard type of volume is referred to as a tankobon, such as this. This is a tankobon, or a Japanese tankobon. This is an English tankobon. Basically a standard volume release. Here you can see a size comparison. And then if you look at the back, it's not as big, not as tall. So our volumes are a bit bigger, more page size, all that good stuff. Though we don't normally get dust jackets for the volumes, so whatever. Just wanted to do a bit of a size comparison. Might as well do another one. Here's how big it is compared to a standard volume, and this is how much bigger it is from looking at the front or whatever. So with that out of the way, I really don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just winging it. Let's talk about the volume itself. So, like I mentioned, it's a hardback. You got shiny stuff for the lettering. I will mention that one of the very few downsides is that the lettering can fade, and since I get sweaty hands when I hold books, or because my hands get sweaty when I hold books, I didn't realize that the sweat was going to cause the stuff to fade or something, and it kind of got a bit of red glitter on one of my fingers. So, if you do pick this up, just be careful when holding the book, because it can do that, and I'm sure that it can do it for the front and up here. But, yeah, that's like the only actual negative I have regarding this release. So, yeah, you got some color pages. That's cool. The quality of the pages is, I want to say the best thing I could compare it to is copy paper, or no, not copy paper, photocopy paper. And it's pretty easy to turn. It feels almost like copy paper, photocopy paper, but not the same quality, or not the same exact type of paper. And as you can see, the pages are pretty big, so it's pretty easy to read, easy to turn. The binding is, going by what a friend of mine told me, the best kind of binding that you could use for a book. I forget what it's called, but it's supposed to be really good binding. Now, as far as chapter count goes, with the Fullmetal edition, or the Kanzenban release, you get 6 chapters. Wait, hold on. Let me open page of contents. Yeah, it comes with 6 chapters, as opposed to the original release being just 4 chapters per volume. And the original release was 27 volumes. Though I think a few of the later volumes had longer chapters, so they had like 3 or 2 chapters towards the end. But essentially with this release, you're getting 1.5 volumes worth of content, along with some color pages and bigger print, nicer, higher quality paper, as opposed to something like this. And it's also $19.99 US. So, oh, there's also like a little design on the back that you can't really see unless you got light reflecting on it. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, might as well go over the different releases. So, if you were to get just the Fullmetal edition, you'd end up spending about, wait, hold on, got a calculator out, let me do the math real quick. So, you'd end up spending about $360 on just this release. Whereas you have a few cheaper options. You have the individual volumes. If you get, those are half the price of these at $9.99. But if you get just the individual volumes by themselves, that would run you about $270. And that's a $90 difference. So you'd be paying more for the quality of these volumes than anything else, I suppose. But there's also the box set for the manga, which will run you, the retail price is $219.99, so $220. But I've seen it go for cheaper online, so you could probably get it for under 200. And then there's the 3-in-1 volumes that are like this. I'm just using this volume as a reference. And there's 9 of these kind of volumes for Fullmetal Alchemist. They are all $14.99, so $15. And at 15 a piece, you'd be paying $135. So it's more, I guess it's more how much you want to spend. I mean, this is a really good series, and I think there's like barely anyone that dislikes the Brotherhood anime, since that's more faithful to the source material than the 2003 anime. But yeah, I'd say that this is worth it for the quality alone. But if you want to save $90 or even $140, then you're best sticking with the individual volumes or the box set, because the box set also comes with either 1 or 2 of the light novel volumes, and I think a double-sided poster. I don't actually remember, since I never had a chance to pick it up. But yeah, I'd say aside from the stuff being able to fade from like sweat, I mean, due to sweat or whatever, that's just one thing that you'd have to watch out for. But for anybody that doesn't know anything about Fullmetal Alchemist, and you want to know, well, I went over why, whether or not you should pick up this volume. But for anybody that doesn't know anything about the series, or has been living under a rock for the last 14 years, it's about these 2 brothers named Edward and Alphonse Elric, and they try to use alchemy to bring their dead mom back to life, but it goes horribly wrong, and Ed ends up losing his right arm and his left leg, and Alphonse loses his entire body, but Ed manages to bind his soul to a suit of armor that's in their basement where they were doing the thing, and they're on a quest to find the Philosopher's Stone in order to return their bodies back to normal. And that's the basic premise. I can say that for those that have never experienced this fantastic series, it does pick up. Like, once it gets going, it gets going. So, yeah, I probably could have made this a few minutes shorter, but I don't know, I tend to ramble sometimes. So, one last statement, I guess. Is this worth picking up? Like I said, yes and no. Depends on how much you want to spend, and if you want to read the series as these volumes are coming out, or if you want to pick up the other releases that are already out in English. Though personally, I feel that with there being more chapters, it gives you more content. and it gets you more invested, I guess. I mean, with the 3-in-1s, that's 3 volumes worth of chapters, but the quality of these volumes is uh, not good when compared to a single volume, or a tankobon volume, if you will. So, yeah, I'd say it is worth it, but at the same time, it's not worth it because while you could be waiting for these volumes to come out every 3 months, supposedly they don't change the release dates, then you can either pick up the not too good quality 3-in-1s. The paper's just bad compared to single volumes. So you can either pick up the 3-in-1s, get 9 of those. It's the cheapest option, but the cheaper the option, the lower the quality, I guess. So it's either wait for these to come out every 3 months, get the single volumes, which are already out, either individually or in a box set that comes with an extra thing or two, or get these 3-in-1s that I think are fully out or have finished being released. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Can't really think of anything else to say. So, yeah, if you want to know anything more that I haven't touched on with the volume, feel free to leave a comment. I'll get back to it as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.